There are certain names which become synonymous with the products, like Google has become synonymous with internet searching to the extent we all say Google कर लेते हैं instead of saying search कर लेते हैं, or Tupperware being synonymous with food storage containers. One such Indian brand is Bisleri, which is synonymous with packaged drinking water. Its synonymity is evident from the fact that people today use the phrase "Bhaiya Bisleri dena" instead of asking for a water bottle in general. But on November 24th, the Indian market was flabbergasted with the news of Mr. Ramesh Chauhan, owner of Bisleri, selling off the company to Tata Consumer Products Limited for about 7,000 crores, nearly 30 years after he sold soft drinks brand Thumbs Up, Gold Spot and Limca to Coca-Cola. And the thing to be noted here is that when this deal actually takes place, it will mark the biggest transaction to take place in the Indian FMCG industry till date, surmounting the 2019 deal when Zydus Wellness acquired Heinz India's consumer business for 4595 crores, and when in 2020 Hindustan Unilever acquired Horlicks from GSK for 3045 crores. So in today's episode, let's deep dive into the rise of beloved Bisleri. Try to understand the brand's journey over the years, along with deep diving into the deal's business aspect in order to analyze why Tata is so keen on purchasing this brand and how this deal can both be a boon and bane for TCPL, contrary to their expectations. Chapter 1: Bisleri is born. Alright, starting off, I'm pretty sure very few people will be aware of the fact that Bisleri is actually not an Indian originated brand. It was in actuality founded by an Italian businessman and chemist Signor Felice Bisleri in 1851. In fact, Bisleri was developed as an alcohol remedy drink, not as a packaged mineral water. After the death of Felice in 1921, the brand was brought to India by his family doctor, Dr. Rossi. Dr. Rossi, upon coming to India, noticed the lack of clean drinking water in the country, and as a result of this, he came up with the idea to sell water in India. He set up the first Bisleri water plant in 1965 in Thane, but the water in initial years was only accessible to the rich in 5-star hotels and posh restaurants, which actually went against its main objective of providing clean water to everyone. But then in 1969, Mr. Ramesh Chauhan and his brother Prakash Chauhan, who were heading Parle at the time, acquired Bisleri from Dr. Rossi for just 4 lakh rupees. But it wasn't until 1995, after Mr. Chauhan had sold off Parle to Coca-Cola, that he started to focus on selling mineral water at a nationwide scale, thereby reaching the common man. The first step towards building Bisleri's wide appeal was the launch of the print ad campaign featuring a butler with a bow tie with the caption "Bisleri is very, very extraordinary," in order to maintain the international vibe of the brand while capturing the consumer's attention. This was also followed by the genius step of launching PET 500 ml bottles for just 5 rupees to reach its audience via the retail for common man model. And as expected, the ideas were an instant hit, and Bisleri had reached its masses while achieving a 400% growth and capturing more than 40% of the market. After its market conquer, the brand just kept on expanding and introducing innovative campaigns. And oh, by the way, to embellish the brand's dominance further, even today, Bisleri holds a market share of almost 35% in the organized packaged drinking water space. 27 years after its first mass embrace and recognition, which in my opinion has been the brand's biggest feat till date. Alright, time to sum up the company's success strategy after its initial proliferation. Firstly, the brand started focusing on an area-specific pricing policy, under which the water bottles available in small shops, railway stations, bus stations and roadside eateries were priced cheaper than the bottles sold in theatres, airports and restaurants. This strategy was a genius move in the sense that it kept the target market intact with the same pricing, while garnering more revenues from the segment which could actually afford it without demeaning the intentions of the brand. Secondly, the brand has been a constant innovator in the industry segment with the introduction of varying stock keeping unit sizes, especially the 20-liter water cans launch, which boosted the brand's identity as a segment innovator while simultaneously helping it achieve higher margins from the corporate target segment. And thirdly, the company has always made sure to continuously remind its consumers that it's a consumer-friendly brand, with the likes of One Nation, One Water campaign in 2017, where the water bottles labeling was done in different languages of India to connect with the people across the country. Not only this, the Bisleri at Doorstep Delivery Service campaign during the COVID lockdown times also catapulted the company to achieve 50% month-on-month jump in e-commerce business during pandemic. Chapter 2. Let's make a deal. Ever since the deal was announced, there has been a lot of chatter in the market regarding the price tag of 7,000 crores, which has been offered by TCPL for the acquisition. There does not seem to be a consensus on the matter of whether financially this deal makes sense or not. Some find it overvalued, while others feel it's a bargain for the TATAs. So let's take a stroll down the business lane to understand this. First of all, as per report from data platform Traction, Bisleri clocked in 1472 crores in revenues in financial year 20. And as per their forecasts, they are expected to be clocking in 2500 crores in revenues in financial year 23. This means the company is expecting to increase its top line, which is revenue, by 70% in just 3 years. Well, anyone with some business knowledge would say that's a phenomenal growth rate for 3-year time frame. Also, as per data compiled by Business Standard Research Bureau, Bisleri had a PBIDT, which is profit before interest, depreciation and taxes, also known as EBIDT, of 239.4 in financial year 20, with a profit after tax of 102 crores, which is expected to be 220 crores in financial year 23. I'll attach the links to these data sources in the description below for your reference. Moving on. If we use financial year 20 figures, we can get a multiplier of 2.35 for the EBITD to profit ratio. And we can use this multiplier to calculate the EBITD of 517 crores from the revenue forecast and profit forecast of 2500 crores and 220 crores mentioned earlier respectively. This, as a result, will help us to get a EBITD margin of 20.7%, which we needed for our analysis. Now coming on to TCPL's financials. As per reports from Economic Times, the company is in line to clock revenues of more than 13,000 crores with an annual net profit of more than 1400 crores and an EBITD margin of 13.4%. But why are we even spending our time on these financial figures? And what do these terms even mean? Well, in order to get a very basic and superficial business and specifically financial business understanding of this Bisleri deal, we need to be understanding these figures. As for what does EBIDTA and EBIDTA margin mean? In the most simplistic form, EBIDTA is one of the most widely used measures of a company's operational success. But it only reveals a company's profit picture and not profitability. EBITDA margin, on the other hand, denotes how well managed are a company's operational expenses and cash flows. And just to simplify this even further, cash flow is nothing but the money flowing into the company in the form of revenues and going out in the form of expenditures and obligations. So if a company has higher cash flow and better managed operational expenses, this would as a result mean higher EBITDA margin. Apart from all this, the most important benefit which EBITDA margin provides is that it allows comparison between two companies belonging to the same industry but with comparatively higher or lower market capitalization. So as in our case, we can use this metric to compare Bisleri and TCPL, since these both not only belong to the FMCG industry but also are major players in the beverage consumer space. Alright, so as we calculated earlier, Bisleri, even though had lower revenues with 2500 crores as compared to TCPL's 13,000 crores, its EBITDA margin at 20% is quite higher than TCPL's 13.4%. which clearly tells us that Bisleri is a better managed and more cost efficient firm than TCPL. And with presence in the packaged water business with brands like Himalayan, which targets the premium mineral water segment and has turned profitable recently, along with Tata Copper Plus, which does not seem to have made its mark in the segment so far. TCPL is said to have cracked a margin bargain deal here, since apart from the financials, the company will be getting Bisleri's strong network of 4,500 distributors and 5,000 distribution trucks across India, and neighboring countries, thus providing powerful synergistic growth drivers for cross-selling its own brands, and as a result, diving deep into the ever so growing mammoth bottle market in India, which according to the Trade Promotion Council of India is projected to reach 74,000 crores by 2029. Chapter 3. Boon or Bane. So by now we have established that TCPL is getting a bargain deal here, but since it's an acquisition and history stands as proof that no matter what company you are, it is never a guarantee that the acquisition will certainly fall in line with the expectations you bought it. So let's analyze both sides of the coin here and identify how Bisleri acquisition can be both a boon and bane for TCPL. We all know how beloved Thumbs Up is as a soft drink in India. But what we don't know is that the brand was introduced way back in 1977 by Bisleri's Mr. Chauhan himself. Thumbs Up under the Parle company was doing extremely well, having monopoly over the cola market while beating competitor Pepsi to the dust. Threatened by its immense popularity, the Coca-Cola company in a strategic move bought the Parle company with the intentions to kill the Thumbs Up. But this strategy backfired when people started preferring Pepsi over Coke, and as a result, the company realized that they would lose 35 to 40% of the market share if they removed Thumbs Up from the market. This resulted into Thumbs Up being reintroduced in 1977, which has ultimately gone on to become a $1 billion brand for the Coca-Cola company, a feat their own product hasn't been able to achieve in India yet. Hence, to the contrary of the strategy for which the acquisition took place, the brand acquired turned out to be an actual boon for the Coca-Cola company. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what Tata plans on achieving with the acquisition of Bisleri as well. Until things go south, as in the case of one of the biggest and most disappointing acquisition deals ever made, Motorola's acquisition of Google. Google saw its Motorola acquisition as a strategic move to own Motorola's patents, which would have put the company in the driver's seat as an innovator and would have provided them immunity against Apple's lawsuits. But to the dismay of Google, the patents were ruled out almost worthless by the courts, Motorola's products failed miserably in the market, and the company just kept on losing money post its acquisition and turned into a giant headache for Google. And as a result, the company had to sell off Motorola for a huge loss. So even though the innovation was at the heart of the acquisition which took place, the deal fell prey to environment of conglomerate corporatization and became a bane for Google no matter what angle you see it from. And this is why Tata would have to be fairly cautious in how they handle Bisleri's gargantuan manufacturing and distribution network so that the vision isn't lost in the brand game and conglomerate corporatization doesn't prevail. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the breakdown of the biggest FMCG deal in Indian history and what could be the ups and downs for TCPL going into this acquisition. There is no doubt that addition of Bisleri to Tata's portfolio may catapult the company to undeniable leadership in the organized packaged water market ahead of Coca-Cola's Kinley and Pepsi's Aquafina. The only thing which could ring alarm bells if the company will be able to scale up the brand beyond its reputation, its financial growth prospects, and its capabilities or not. If you like the video, do share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button below. We'll keep bringing more such knowledge-filled episodes to you. Until then, Mindfulness signing off.